This is the strangest culprit in Detective Conan. He clearly killed someone in the street, yet he didn't flee the scene immediately. Instead, right in front of the police, he deliberately swung a hose around wildly at the crime scene. But what you'll never guess is, this seemingly foolish and provocative act by the culprit was actually his most brilliant trick to get away with the crime. It all started on this day. Conan and his group were invited by Sarah to a ramen shop on the commercial street. While they were eating, Conan happened to notice 3 strange customers in the shop. Although they ordered different dishes, all 3 had very heavy tastes and liked adding large amounts of seasoning to their food. What was even stranger was, though the 3 didn't know each other at all, they insisted on leaving the restaurant together after dinner. Seeing this, Conan couldn't help but wonder if the 3 came to the shop together regularly too. But this casual question from Conan made the shop assistant Sayo freeze up immediately. It turned out that not long before, in a residential area near the ramen shop, a woman had been murdered, and the 3 men who just left were exactly the suspects in the case. In addition, the shop owner Ogura added that since the police hadn't found the culprit yet, so every night, 2 female police officers come here for a routine check. The second he finished speaking, the shop door was slammed open. In walked traffic police officers Yumi and Nico. The second Yumi walked in, she bombarded Sayo with questions about the 3 men who'd just eaten there. She asked if they'd spent more lavishly than usual, but Sayo said they hadn't. Just then, Ran called out to Yumi. After asking for details, the group finally learned the full story. It turned out that 2 weeks prior, while Nico and Yumi were on patrol, they'd accidentally spotted a shadowy figure swinging a hose wildly in the street. They'd thought someone was in trouble, but before they could go over to ask, the shadowy figure had turned and fled in a panic. Realizing something was wrong, Yumi immediately gave chase. Nico took a shortcut, planning to cut the figure off at the other end of the alley. But to her surprise, the only person who emerged from the alley in the end was Yumi. Nearly all the shops on the commercial street were closed that night, with only this ramen shop still open, and the customers in the shop at that time were exactly the 3 men who just left. After that, Yumi called Sato and Takagi to the scene. After their investigation, they made a shocking discovery. Right where the shadowy figure had been swinging the hose, a woman lay dead on the ground. A preliminary investigation later revealed the victim was a hotel employee. Based on the state of the crime scene, it was likely the victim had encountered a burglar, got into a violent altercation with them, and the tragedy had unfolded as a result. Conan was confused after hearing this, because logically, the last person to enter the shop should have been the culprit. But Sayo stated that all 3 men had entered the shop at the same time. Sayo's words left Conan even more confused. After he pressed for more details, Nico finally revealed the truth. As Yumi had been chasing the shadowy figure, the figure had suddenly thrown the hose at her, causing Yumi to trip and fall to the ground. At first, Nico had thought the hose had been the murder weapon used by the culprit, because on the end of the hose, there were traces of tape having been stuck on it. Because of this, Nico suspected the culprit had put something inside the hose, then used it to beat the victim to death. But the investigation later revealed no blood had been found on the hose at all. Hearing this, Sarah quickly came up with a theory. She suspected the culprit had put tape on the hose to scare the victim, causing them to trip and fall to the ground. But Yumi immediately dismissed this theory.